Some call it the greatest smear in history. Others say it's one of the Vatican's darkest secrets. To some, it's a shameful lie thrown at Catholicism. To others, it's the most disgraceful scandal in the Church's past. But here's the question: did a pope really give birth in the Vatican 1,200 years ago? And was that pope murdered right after? In 847 AD, Pope Leo IV passed away. His successor was a mysterious figure recorded in history as Pope John VIII. What followed were two of the most unusual years the Vatican had ever seen. This pope had been in office for exactly 2 years, 5 months, and 4 days when, during a religious procession near St. Peter's Basilica, he suddenly went into labor. Before the shocked eyes of the crowd, he collapsed in pain, and moments later, the cry of a newborn echoed through the square. The Pope had given birth. According to eyewitnesses, the crowd fell into a stunned silence. Then panic set in. Some screamed, others made the sign of the cross, and many believed it was a sign of the apocalypse. The ceremonial order in St. Peter's Square dissolved into chaos, and rumors swept through the streets of Rome within hours. Vatican officials were left in shock, unsure how to respond. Some historians claim that no official records from that day exist, which they interpret as a deliberate cover-up. In fact, some chroniclers from that period left pages blank or smudged in their writings for that exact date. The very next day, high-ranking clergy reportedly held a closed-door emergency meeting, during which certain secret decisions were said to have been made. Never before had a birth shaken the Church to its core like this. According to Catholic doctrine, the Pope must be celibate, free from all sexual relations. But this wasn't just about breaking a vow of chastity. The real scandal was that the person who had given birth was a woman. And in that era, just like today, a woman becoming Pope was utterly unthinkable. Allegedly, this woman had been born under the name Gilberta. At the age of 12, she began living as a boy in order to receive an education. Her intelligence, wisdom, and knowledge of theology quickly stood out. After converting to Christianity, she joined the Benedictine order and eventually made her way to Rome, rising through the ranks of the Church. She successfully concealed her identity for years until she was elected Pope. But just as her true gender had remained hidden, so had her personal life. According to legend, she had an affair with a Vatican servant and became pregnant. She managed to keep the pregnancy secret until the moment she gave birth in public. After that, there was no more hiding. According to some versions of the story, Pope John VIII, real name Gilberta, was executed on the spot. Some even say she was stoned to death alongside her newborn. The impact of this incident was so great that future popes, during their traditional Vatican processions, began to deliberately avoid the very street where the scandal took place. A strange new ritual also emerged. After being elected, every new pope would sit on a special chair with a hole in the seat, known as the Sella Stercoraria. A cleric would examine the pope from below and loudly proclaim, "Testiculos habet," he has testicles. The crowd would then respond in unison, "Our pope is a man." But did this event actually happen? Many Protestant historians firmly believe it did. They argue that it's a dark truth the Catholic Church desperately wants to bury. The Church, however, insists the whole thing is a baseless slander, crafted and spread during the Reformation as anti-Catholic propaganda. Here's the twist, though. The first known written account of the Pope Joan legend dates back to the 13th century, nearly 300 years before Protestantism even existed. Some papal records even skip from Pope John VII directly to Pope John IX, further fueling speculation. This gap only deepens the mystery and keeps the legend alive. We may never know the full truth. The Vatican denies it. Historians remain divided. But as the old saying goes, where there's smoke, there's fire.